So, closing night film of Frightfest. How excited are you? And please tell me you are.
No, I'm not excited at all. Of course I'm excited. I'm just happy that you like the movie that much.
But I mean, were you surprised when we said we'd like to choose it for that? Because many people have come up to me and said, "Well, why this film?" And because it's not a typical Frightfest film, but I disagree because I think it actually is, and it fits the brief.
I just go with the flow of things, and I just take your opinion, sort of like I just accept that you feel like it fits into place.
No, okay, let's go through the whole genesis of this then. So we first met on Road Games.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of our, attractions from like 3 years ago now, was it? 4 years?
4 years ago.
Well, and then of course we picked it up for our label.
Exactly.
So when did Good Woman come into frame then, and you knew you were going to do that as your next film?
So it was 1 month before the world premiere of Road Games here at Frightfest when I read the script for the first time. So I've been working on it for that long, basically the last 4 years. Basically what happened was, I had finished Road Games, knew that it was world premiering here, and I wanted to find a writing partner. And there's this great agent at Casarotto. So my producer, Jun Young, reached out to him and said, do you have any writers any clients that you can send over some writing samples for? Because Abner's looking for somebody to collaborate with, bounce ideas off, and work with. And so he sent 5 samples over. And out of those scripts, one of them just so happened to be called A Good Woman Is Hard to Find by Ronan Blaney. And it blew me away at that, that draft I had read. And I was like, what is this script? Like, who is this? What's happening with this project? And so it turned out that not only had Ronan just finished that draft 1 week before I had read it, but I was one of the first people to even read it other than his agent. And so we went back to the agent and said, you know what? Forget about finding somebody to collaborate with. Abner actually wants to make this movie. And they were excited at the idea of that, and that's how it all came together.
Okay, so for 4 years, though, it must have been a struggle to get together financially.
Yeah, it was. Any movie is a struggle to put together, and it feels like it took quite some time. I mean, that's 4 years from when I first read it to now. So actually, we shot the movie quite a long time ago. We shot it in November and December 2017. So we had quite a lengthy post-production period, but if you think about that in sort of like the scale of things, it didn't take long from when I read the script to when we were shooting. It took about 2 years. I offered the role to Sarah Bolger, of course, and she was attached to the project for about 18 months before the shoot. So, it took a long time to come together.
Why did you choose her? Why did you think
When I read the script, she's the only person I could see in the role. It just so happened to be the same year. When Road Games was on the festival circuit, her movie Emily was also. And so I had read the script, and then I saw the movie of her, she's playing this psychotic babysitter. And I was very intrigued by that. And I thought, wouldn't it be interesting if she played that, we sort of subvert that, and so she's playing a character that's caring for the children and will do anything for them rather than the character that she's in Emily. I saw a side to her in that.
I mean, what do you see it as? I mean, is it her finding her own inner sort of self? I mean, she's very meek and mild at the beginning. I mean, and she doesn't quite know how to cope with the death of the murder of her husband. I mean, so it's a case of, is it her journey through to becoming quite a sort of like a steely, person?
Well, I see it, what I liked about the character when I read the script and the way that we approached it when, realizing it, was that it's about this vulnerable, meek woman who finds the strength that she's always had inside her. She regains the strength, and she has this very subtle transformation into this strong, independent woman. She's sort of lost that independence dealing with the loss of her husband. And one thing that Sarah definitely brought to the project that is more apparent on screen than was on the page was making it more about dealing with grief. That was less obvious in the script. And that was pretty much all in her performance.
So mention the other characters and the actors that play them.
So there's the villain, Leo Miller, who's played by Edward Hogg, and Tito, who's like this low-life drug dealer, played by Andrew Simpson, who was my lead in
He's great in
Road
it,
Games.
actually. I really like him in it.
And I cast him in the role actually because I loved the idea of showing a completely different side to him as an actor, because I think he has an amazing talent, and he's playing the polar opposite of Jack from Road Games as Tito.
With his own accent.
With his own accent, which was another reason why I chose him, because I thought that would be interesting to show. And so the character of Tito is sort of So Sarah and Leo Miller are in these two different worlds. Sarah's in this sort of like social realism world, and Leo Miller is in this underground, grimy genre thriller thing. And Tito's sort of like the glue between the two worlds that when they collide, he's the reason that all of these characters end up having to meet. Yeah.
No, you're so enamoured of the character that you're actually thinking of spinning this out into a TV series. I mean, how serious is that? And
my writer Rona and I are developing, we're exploring, expanding her universe.
In the fact that she's now going to go on and do other things of what she does.
Exactly, you'll have to wait and find out.
I mean, do you think people are going to be surprised by the hard edge of it? I mean, it sort of goes along like a bit of a sort of social realist drama, and then suddenly there's gruesome events that are really stark and shocking. I mean, I know you obviously did it for that reason, but what do you think the reaction's going to be like?
I think it's going to be. I think people will connect with it in the way that we approached it. Like I said, was about the meeting of these two different worlds, and so. But because it's when she finds her in this position of having to take part in this violence, it's done in a way that hopefully still grounded a bit in reality. So it's not too far fetched, so that people can put themselves in her position and think and wonder how they would deal with these circumstances themselves. And so I think that the reactions will be, especially from mothers, which is interesting to me, is that how they really root for her and think that they would probably do the same thing if they were in these circumstances that Sarah, the character of Sarah, is in.